My name is Steve Tully, and I am the coordinator of the Veterans Day program here at ASRHS Regional High School. This is our 25th annual Veterans Day program. So on behalf of the faculty, I would like to welcome all of you here. This program is being sponsored by the ASRHS Regional High School Massachusetts Army National Guard Leadership Education Program. I have two requests from the audience. First, please turn off your electronic devices. Second, take some time after our program to search for a veteran and express your gratitude for their service to this nation. We have no school on Friday, November 10th, in observance of Veterans Day, which is actually on Saturday this year. I encourage you to read and/or watch a documentary on veterans. This year will be the first time that I will not spend Veterans Day with my parents, as my mom passed away at the end of August, and my dad, a World War II Battle of the Bulge veteran from World War II back in 2016. I'll always remember sharing this very special holiday with them and talking to them about the highlights of our program. I'd like to thank the students and staff who have been involved with this year's program, as well as all the students in the audience for your cooperation, behavior, undivided attention, and advance as we honor our veterans. To them, I say thank you and welcome. Thank you, veterans. Next, I would like to thank local veteran organizations, as well as those from across Massachusetts. Special thanks to the Massachusetts Army National Guard, who has sponsored our leadership program since it was first introduced to our students in the fall of 2004. To our alumni who have returned this morning to participate in our program. All first responders in the audience, and officers, firefighters, EMTs, etc. Thank you so much for your service. Ms. Karen Baldino, owner of Karen's Kitchen, and her staff, who cooked, prepared, and served the delicious breakfast this morning for our veterans and students who attended. Flowers by Stella and Pinard's Florist for the beautiful arrangements that you see and the carnations. Ms. Fran Cooley, the director of the Veterans Choir from Leominster, Massachusetts, for bringing her veterans here today to sing at our event. Members of the Gill, Shanahan, Sparazzo, Acuna, and Wallace families, as well as other families of veterans. Mr. Swenson for designing the certificates. Mr. Rocco for covering my class this morning and hosting veterans. Mrs. Carpenter for the use of the Library Media Center. Mrs. Kendall for her assistance with leadership education to students this morning while I was at the breakfast. Mr. Kendall, the Director of Athletics, for providing free admission to our veterans at this Thursday night's home football game. Ms. Diane Jones for setting up the coffee station for the veterans to go along with their cake from Market Basket. Mr. Southwick, Mrs. Narrow, Mr. Moore, Mr. Acosta, Mrs. Matola, Mrs. Ochap for hosting veterans this morning in their classrooms. Mr. Powderly and the band, who will be playing the national anthem after I conclude the faculty welcome. Students from the leadership program, student council, and other volunteers. The Ag Public Access Corporation Incorporated for filming this assembly, as well as the classroom presentations prior. Hunter McKee for making the computer slides, and for taking care of the sound, screen, and lights. Mary Ellen Jones from the Show Publications. The Keystone Collaborative for making special gifts for the veterans. Mrs. Rader, Ms. Acosta, Mrs. Wallace for their assistance in advertising today's events. Mrs. Brenda Velez Rodriguez for her assistance over the years and representing the children of veterans who have passed away. Administration throughout the district and school committee members. Custodial and cafeteria staff, and the staff members for their flexibility with our events throughout the morning. To them I say thank you. Before Mr. Parley and the ASRHS Marching Band play the Star Spangled Banner, Mr. Tony Cabrera, graduate of the Keystone Collaborative, lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. We'll have a moment of silence for our troops. You may have noticed the vase and the roses in front of a place setting to my left. This goes to symbolize the 17 veterans and those family members who have participated in our annual Veterans Day program since 1999 and have passed away. We are thinking of them and always have a place for them at our table. Past programs have been dedicated to Manny Velez, Preston Smith, his wife Miriam Smith, Frank Belitsky, Harold Landry, Charlie Lewis, Doug Frederick, Ralph Winslow, Stan Kopek Sr., his son Stan Kopek Jr., Gold Star Mother Zelda Moore, my dad John Tully, Larry Anderson, Walter Anderson, Robert Carlson, and his son Mark Carlson, and former faculty members Phil O'Keefe and Russell Mann. This year's program is dedicated to World War II veterans Norman Melanson of Leominster, who served in the U.S. Navy, Norman Albert of Shirley, who served in the U.S. Marine Corps, and Korean War veteran Donald Wallace of Air, who served in the U.S. Army. We think of these veterans who have passed away since last year's Veterans Day program, as well as those veterans and family members I mentioned previously, in a very special way this morning. Our thoughts are with their relatives and friends. Now at this time, please stand for a moment of silence in honor and memory of all our veterans and our troops who are currently serving the United States both home and abroad. Please remain standing for the playing of the national anthem by the ASRHS Marching Band under the direction of Mr. Michael Partley, and afterwards the reciting of the Pledge of Allegiance led by Tony Cabrera of the Collaborative, who has a special gift for our veterans. Mr. Partley. In the Pledge of Allegiance. Tony, come on up.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all.
This is a little bit unscripted, Mr. Tully, but my name is Megan Ritter. I'm a program administrator for Keystone Collaborative, as well as a graduate from ASRHS Regional High School. I want to just take a minute, as many of you might not be aware, but this is Mr. Tully's 25th year in organizing this amazing event that not only my grandfather has been a part of. He was one of the names you just named. He was a World War II veteran, and this is a very special day that meant so much to our families, as well as my grandfather getting to come in and have breakfast and lunch and whatever that looked like, as well as Mr. Tully's was a big piece of both my father and my grandfather's services, making sure that he was honored respectfully for his service. So, as well as Keystone Collaborative, and on behalf of everybody, we have a plaque to present you with. And just thank you so much, Mr. Tully, for everything you've done.
Thank you very much, Megan. I appreciate that. And thank you, Tony. So you know that the students from Keystone made some nice gifts for the veterans, cards and candies. Thank you very much. Okay, so now please remain standing. Okay. And I just want to say thank you very much for everybody for all your work. And now you may be seated. Thank you. I would like to now introduce Ms. Annika Farley, Ms. Alana Granberg, who will give the student welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Tully, and good morning, everyone. My name is Annika Farley, and I am a junior here at ASRHS High School. Before I welcome my classmate, Ms. Alana Granberg, the president of the senior class, I would like to thank the veterans for coming here today and sharing their experiences in our classrooms prior to the assembly. On behalf of the student body, I want to say thank you for your service. Now I would like to introduce Ms. Alana Granberg, who will offer her comments on the day as the president of the senior class.
Thank you, Annika, for the introduction. It is very nice to be gathered here at this assembly with everyone. Thank you all for attending. We all appreciate the hard work and service that our veterans have done for this country. So I just want to say thank you for attending and sharing your stories with us.
Thank you, Elena, for your comments about this very important day and holiday. At this time, please welcome Ms. Vanessa Abbott and Ms. Isabel Pepin, co-presidents of the Leadership Education Program, who will share their greetings and introduce Air Shirley Regional High Senior, Ms. Lizzie Kane, who will briefly describe her experience being involved in the Leadership Education Program.
Good morning. My name is Vanessa Abbott.
My name is Isabel Pepin, and we are co-presidents of the Leadership Education Program.
As you know, this is the 25th anniversary of the Leadership Education Program's Veterans Day ceremony. We honor the veterans who have fought so hard to defend our country and keep us safe. Thank you so much for your bravery and determination when protecting our nation. We would like to thank Sergeant First Class Ramirez for his dedication and support for our program throughout COVID and the past years. We want to recognize his hard work and guidance and thank him for his efforts to improve our group.
Taking on the role of our instructor, Sergeant First Class Sergeant, we welcome him to the program and thank him for his help and support that he has already given us. We are looking forward to working with him for the years to come and building and strengthening our program as a whole. Next, we would like to have Lizzie Kane speak a little bit more about our program. She's a senior and will be graduating and moving on next year. We want to thank her for her hard work and dedication to the program. Please welcome her onto the stage. Thank you.
Mike.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lizzie Kane. I'm a current senior here at ASRHS.
I've been a part of the leadership program since I was a freshman, so 4 consecutive years. This is only my second Veterans Day Assembly because I started high school during COVID, so we didn't have this lovely assembly that you are all here at today. I'm happy that Mr. Tully asked me to say a few words as he is one of my biggest mentors due to this program, him and Mr. McLaughlin run. I enjoy having the opportunity to be a part of this program. All the veterans that are here and out there somewhere are very respectable people and fun to talk to and listen to each story that they have to share because every single one is different. Seeing the veterans' happy faces brings me joy because I know that this assembly made them feel very appreciated as they should feel. This assembly is only a fraction of what these veterans deserved after what they sacrificed for our country. I can't brag much, but I can say that joining the leadership program has made me feel very welcome in this school and opened me to many opportunities that probably wouldn't have arisen if I didn't join. I'm going to be honest when I say I did join leadership as a freshman just to have a Panther block due to the fact that I couldn't pick one because of how indecisive I am. But I can say now that it was probably one of the best choices I've made in my high school career because now I enjoy it so much. From this assembly to marching in the parades through downtown and occasional field trips, leadership is awesome. This amazing program would not be here if it weren't for Mr. Tully and Mr. McLaughlin taking time out of their days to allow us to have meetings and fundraisers and all the cool stuff that comes with this program. I enjoy the thought of this assembly because it recognizes veterans and all that they did for this country. I finish with this. Just remember that you are able to stand here today because of veterans and current soldiers who are serving and served our nation. Just one more thing. When I was a freshman in the leadership program, our president was an honorable person who is here today and serves our country in the United States Air Force ROTC at UNH. A 2021 graduate from Air Shirley, Ms. Jamie Kozakowski is someone who is very respectable and someone who I look up to. I'd like her to come up on stage and accept these flowers for everything she did for this school whilst being a student here and everything she was doing for our country. I welcome Sergeant First Class John Sargent onto the stage next.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sergeant First Class John Sargent. I'm a recruiter with the Massachusetts Army National Guard, and I have the fine pleasure of every Wednesday, when I'm not recruiting, helping the students of the leadership education program that Mr. Tully runs. So we've been a part of that for about 15 years now, the National Guard itself. So my boss currently and my boss's boss, going back 15 years, have been a part of the great program itself. I truly believe in the program. I believe it provides achievable goals for the students, provides values, ethics, and leadership that all students and people in society in general need. I believe it also provides a great resume bullet, whether applying to a civilian sector job or a college enrollment process. So I absolutely honored and thanked to be a part of the program. Lastly, whether Marines, Airmen, and Navy Corpsmen in the audience, I want to just thank my fellow veterans. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Leadership Education Program, for your comments and update. I would also like to thank Sergeant First Class Ramirez for his involvement with our school over the past 3 years as our contact from the Massachusetts Army National Guard, as well as welcome Sergeant First Class Sergeant to Air Shirley Regional High School. We thank you both for your service. The next 3 speakers will be explaining the historical significance of Veterans Day, along with a reflection to the famous poem In Flanders Field by John McCrae. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Nia Florencois, Angelica Mies, and Rihanna Span.
Good morning. We We gather here today to pay tribute to the heroes among us, the brave men and women who have selflessly served our nation and protected the freedoms we hold dear. Veterans Day is a day of reflection, gratitude, and remembrance. A day when we come together as a nation to honor those who have sacrificed so much for our great country.
It's a day when we express our appreciation for the unwavering commitment, resilience, and courage of our veterans. These are the individuals who have stood up in the face of adversity, who have shouldered the burden of defending our nation, and who have ensured that we can live in a land of liberty, justice, and opportunity.
This day was originally known as Armistice Day, marking the end of World War I, a conflict that was supposed to be the war to end all wars. However, as history has shown us, the world has seen its share of conflicts since then. Veterans Day has evolved to encompass all veterans from all wars in peacetime, recognizing the enduring spirit and sacrifice of those who wear our nation's uniform.
Our veterans are the embodiment of duty, honor, and the love of our country. They inspire us with their stories of service and valor. They remind us of the sacrifices endured by those who have served and the importance of supporting them and their transition into civilian life. They are our neighbors, our friends, our family members, and our fellow citizens. Veterans Day means a lot to me because several of my family members are veterans and have served this country with pride.
Thank you to our veterans, their families, and all those who continue to support them. May we carry the spirit of Veterans Day in our hearts every day and ensure that the sacrifices of our heroes are never forgotten. God bless our veterans and God bless the United States of America.
Now we will have sophomore Brianna Span talk about the significance of the poem Flanders Field in relation to Veterans Day.
Good morning. Today we are coming together to honor and pay tribute to the brave individuals who have served our country selflessly. Veterans for years have dedicated their lives to protect the freedoms that we are given today. As we celebrate their courage and dedication, we cannot overlook the remembrance embodied in selling poppy flowers. This resonates with the powerful poem In Flanders Fields by John McCrae. This poem reads, "In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row. That marks our place, and in the sky, the larks still bravely singing, fly scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead, short days ago. We lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from falling hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high, if ye break faith with us who die. We shall not sleep, through poppies grow in Flanders fields." These words, written by Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae during World War I, cover the haunting reality of war, commemorating the fallen soldiers lying beneath the rows of the battlefield. McCrae's imagery of the poppies serves as a sentimental symbol of sacrifice and remembrance. The tradition of selling poppy flowers to raise funds for support and assist veterans is an expression of this symbolic tribute. This is a tradition established in the aftermath of conflict, when its connections trace back to the poem and preservance of the red poppy. The poppies, which grew over the graves of fallen soldiers in Flanders, became an emotional emblem of sacrifice and hope. The act of selling poppies by veterans serves not only as a fundraiser, but as a profound gesture of remembrance, ensuring that the sacrifices of those who served and those who continue to serve are not forgotten. This is a way for us to express gratitude and support for the men and women who have defended our freedoms. So as we see these small yet mighty red flowers, let us not only salute the fallen, but also pledge our support to the living veterans. Let us carry forward the message of this poem, ensuring that the flame of remembrance and gratitude is kept alive. Lastly, these poppies are a symbol of hope, remembrance, and an ongoing commitment to those who shield our way of life. Let us continue to support our veterans and ensure that their sacrifices are never forgotten. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies, for your wonderful contributions. Next, I would like to welcome our superintendent, the Air Shirley Regional School District, Dr. Adam Renda, who will offer his remarks.
Good morning, everyone. Before I go on with my remarks, I just wanted to take a moment and thank Mr. Tully and congratulate him on 25 years of this amazing program. Thank you, Mr. Tully. As we approach Veterans Day, I am reminded of the courage and sacrifice of the men and women who have served our nation. It is a day to honor and express our gratitude to those who have dedicated their lives to protecting our freedoms and ensuring our safety. Veterans Day serves as a powerful reminder of the values that have shaped our country and the importance of preserving the principles that we hold dear. Each year, on the 11th of November, we come together as a nation to pay tribute to the selfless acts of our veterans. These individuals have stood tall in the face of adversity, demonstrating unwavering strength, resilience, and unyielding commitment to our country. Their bravery knows no bounds, and their dedication to safeguarding our nation should serve as a source of inspiration for all of us. It is an imperative that we take a moment to reflect on the significance of their service and the impact it has had on all of our lives. The freedoms and opportunities that we often take for granted are a direct result of the sacrifices made by veterans. Their commitment to upholding the values of democracy, liberty, and justice has allowed us to thrive in a world where we can voice our opinions freely, pursue our dreams, and live in a society that values equality and inclusivity. As we observe Veterans Day, let us not only express our gratitude, but also strive to embody the spirit of service and selflessness that our veterans have exemplified. Let us honor their legacy by actively contributing to the communities and striving to make a positive impact in the lives of others. We can show our appreciation by being responsible citizens, by fostering a culture of respect and understanding, and by standing up for what is right. Thank you, and thank you to our veterans.
Thank you, Dr. Renda, for your remarks as the leader of our school district. Our next speaker has participated in the high school assembly since he has been the principal of Page Hilltop Elementary School in the early and mid-2000s. After Mr. Fred Deppie offers his remarks, he will introduce his fifth grader, John King, who will speak briefly.
Thank you, Mr. Tully, Mr. Christie, and the ASRHS Regional High School community for inviting me to take part in this special program. It is a day that I always look forward to, and I'm honored to be here. Welcome and thank you to all the special military guests. This event is for you. In all my years as an educator, I have hosted many special Veteran Day programs. Many of you have been part of the programs at Page Hilltop, or some of you even being up on stage in various roles. It's especially dear to my heart as my son Christian served with the 125th Marine Regiment out of Fort Devens and was deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan. Like my son, all of these veterans here present gave up a lot of their lives to serve our country and protect all of these rights that you enjoy today. I want you to just consider for a moment, when you're feeling tired some mornings, think of the fact that these veterans went days without sleep. When you're not particularly fond of the meal in front of you, keep in mind that these veterans went days without eating. When you're upset because you may be stuck in traffic, keep in mind that these veterans were driving through areas where there was possible danger around every corner. When you miss some social event with your friends because of school, home, or work commitments, keep in mind that these veterans missed many family events, birthdays, and holidays. I know there are days when you probably wish your life could be better, but I ask that you please keep in mind that there are many people your age who are far worse off. These military heroes gave much of their lives to make a better life for you, your families, and your future families. Thank you. Now I'd like to welcome one of my fifth graders, John King, who is here with his dad, John Sr., who is a veteran.
Hi, my name is John King and I'm in Miss Godin's fifth grade class. My dad is also John King and he's an Army veteran. My dad began thinking about his military career between his junior and senior years of high school. He enlisted in the infantry after high school. My dad signed up in 1990 during Operation Desert Shield. His unit was Echo Company, 3rd Battalion, 25th Light Infantry. His job was the M60 assistant gunner who carries all the ammo and the tripod. I'm grateful for my dad because he joined the Army to serve our country.
Thank you, Mr. Deppy, for being a part of our program year after year, and for getting the 5th grade involved. The next part of our program is another great tradition, remarks from the high school principal and the Veterans Roll Call, where each veteran who has signed in today will have their name announced. Please welcome the principal of Air Shirley Regional High School, Mr. Spencer Christie.
Good morning. We are happy to be celebrating the 25th annual Veterans Day celebration at Air Shirley Regional High School. Veterans Day, which always falls on November 11th, is designed as a day to honor the more than 19 million men and women who have served in the U.S. military. In 2021, President Joe Biden said, "Our veterans represent the best of America. You are the very spine of America, not just the backbone. You're the spine of the country, and all of us owe you." And so, on Veterans Day and every day, we honor that great debt and recommit ourselves to keeping our sacred obligation as a nation to honor what you've done. We are lucky to be joined by these brave men and women who, as President Biden said, are the spine of the nation and have proudly served the United States in a variety of roles. Please, let's take a moment to thank them with our applause. The heroism that they have displayed by proudly serving the country is something to be honored, and I'm thrilled that we are able to do that today. At this time, I would like to present a roll call of all the veterans we have in the audience. Please hold your applause for our veterans until I have completed the list. James Nichols, David Mangold, Chadwick Larder, Frank Harmon, Charles Jones, Ruth Jones, David Sawyer, Nicholas Naidu, Bill Reed, Joe Przenzski, Ed Orr, John Gordon, Bert D. Gibson, Joe Landry, Steve Burnham, Jamie Kozakowski, Dana Abbott, Scott Wade, Sam Goodwin, Ron Kamer, Fran Cooley, George Schroeder, Ronald Bouvet, Glenn Valancourt, Lieutenant Colonel Sean McLaughlin, Richard Kendall, Sergeant Barry Schwartzel, John King, Angie Edmonds, John Sheehan, Tony Fiducia, Bill Smith, Ronald Camel, Richie Taft, Robin Ian Davidson, Ralph C. Higgins Jr., Sergeant First Class John Sargent, Tom Cooley, Staff Sergeant Corey Franklin, Technical Sergeant Jonathan Murray, Tom Pinay, William Gross, Michael Wallace, and any other veteran joining us today. Please, let's honor these men and women with a round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Christie, for your remarks and recognizing our veterans by name. Our next presentation will be a musical performance by the Leominster Veterans Choir, directed by Ms. Fran Cooley. Please welcome them as they sing Patriotic Festival and You Raise Me Up.
Free. Thank you very much. The next song that we're going to sing, You Raise Me Up, we're going to dedicate it to Norman Cookie Melanson. He was one of our veterans that sang with us up until the very end. He passed away right before his 97th birthday. So he will be one of the veterans that we'll be honoring a little later, but this song is dedicated to him. Charlie Jones is in our auxiliary chorus, which means he has sung with us in the past, and because he was here today, we've asked him to join us in memory of Cookie for this song, You Raise Me Up. And this song reminds us that we all have our heroes, and we all want to be the best that we can be. So think about that as you listen to the words, and we'll honor Cookie today.
Munster Veterans Choir to perform for us. It is always a pleasure to see and hear you. At this time, I would like to introduce our keynote speaker this morning. He is a former graduate of then ASRHS School from the class of 2009. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Sergeant First Class Chadwick Flutter of the Massachusetts Army National Guard.
Thank you. A little tall. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'd like to begin with a simple but powerful thank you. 14 years, it's been a while. It's kind of weird coming back, but I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to see old faces and new faces. It truly warms my heart. Really quick, I'll talk about the leadership program. You know, if it wasn't for Mr. Tully, the spark of the leadership program, I really don't know how I would be where I am today. And even if I did, I don't think I'd be as far along as I am. So I'll get right into it. Thank you, faculty, students, teachers, and veterans for making it today to Air Shirley Regional High School's 25th Veterans Day program. And a special thank you to Mr. Tully, who without his deep love and unwavering dedication to the veteran community, this may not have been possible, especially after all these years. Also, thank you, for without your guidance, I would likely not be where I stand today. Air Shirley, formerly known as Air High School, was opened in the present location in the 1960s. After coming from the Pleasant Street location, Fort Devens was built in 1917 and closed as an active duty military installation March 31st, 1996. Many of you were never around to have the opportunity to see the overwhelming support this town and the military installation shared for each other. I was very young, but even after that base became a reserve training base and significantly downsized over the years, to this day it carries a very significant history that we should all take the time to appreciate. Without Fort Devens, Air would not have flourished as quickly into the town we see today. We would not have the overwhelming pride of speaking of the overwhelming number of veterans from Air and the surrounding towns that have served over the years and to this day, and the positive impact this had on the surrounding communities, both in support and patriotism, but also in allowing opportunity to hundreds, if not thousands, of young men and women over the many years. Some, but not all, are sitting wishing that you could be checking TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. For those of you that are feeling this, I hope you received the same tap on the shoulder as I received when I was a young 17-year-old high school student. Disillusioned, big word, thinking I had everything already figured out. There were other distractions 15 years ago when I was where you sit now. Yes, you. I pray that you received the tap on the shoulders that the veterans in front of me received, the call to carry the torch and answer a higher calling. Some of you may not believe or may have forgotten what a great nation America is. Some today had the opportunity to sit and talk with veterans before coming to this auditorium. I hope that you made the most out of that time, precious time, to hear a story, a life only a few walk. This only fades when those don't answer the call or walk by a veteran without a simple hello. Our nation is the envy of the world and grants us freedoms like no other. The opportunity we have today is echoed by those that answered the call to serve their families, neighbors, fellow citizens, and their country. If you want something great, you must stand up and at times fight for it. I say we are the envy of the world because in no other country do they enjoy the same freedoms and opportunity we have here. Other nations built of communism, fascism, tyrannical dictators or worse. And for those that usurp these, are still trying to find their way in a power vacuum. That's where on occasion we have been there to help. America's military is more than a fighting force. My time in Afghanistan and Saudi Arabia, in addition to our surroundings, we were also there as peacekeepers and protectors, helping the innocent and those less fortunate than ourselves, showing kindness and equality through leadership and morals. So that begs the question that some of you may be asking yourself. What is Veterans Day? It depends on who you ask. But for the sake of time, I'll tell you exactly what Veterans Day meant to me when I was in your shoes, here in Air High School, and what it means to me now. Because believe it or not, your mindset will change as you grow in life. As a teenager before serving, Veterans Day to me was the day we acknowledged and said thanks to those in uniform that served our great nation. We thanked them because we knew that they have endured trying times, losses, missed time with family and friends, and other sacrifices. We thank them for actively serving and for the will and bravery to answer the call and protect every one of us, regardless of creed, color, religion, you name it. I admired these people and looked up to them for this sacrifice and this bravery. Having not been in their shoes, I could only imagine what it was to be one of them. In every veteran, I saw strength, resolve, responsibility, and self-reliance, something we all needed as we looked towards as our graduation day approached, and we rushed to be the first one to burst out the doors and rush out of school with diploma in hand. I did it. But this is just one accomplishment as we enter the real, relentless, and unforgiving world outside of school. What does Veterans Day mean to me now? After 15 years of service in the Army National Guard, 2 combat tours, traveling across the globe for training such as with the Austrian and Bulgarian military in Germany, to the Saudi Rangers at their mountain warfare school in Western Saudi Arabia, as well as military schools, it has only added to what I stated previously. Veterans Day is the day we look to veterans past and present for their loyalty to the American people and those abroad who we support. Veterans are the epitome of what it means to serve your country with honor and pride. The culmination of experiences, services rendered, forged friendships leading towards something greater, and showing the rest of the world that we stand for what is right and stand fearless and willing to confront evil by placing our lives at times in harm's way to protect others and our citizens here in the United States. So I will leave you with this. For those who have served our country faithfully, past and present, and for those of you in the audience who are aspiring to become a member of the greatest military on earth and serve your country and its citizens, if you did not already look up to or look to follow in the footsteps of a veteran, like I look to many, now is the time to create a legacy. Such as late Chief Warrant Officer Manny Velez, father of Miss Rodriguez, late Tech Sergeant John Tully, father of Mr. Tully, as well as living veterans, Command Sergeant Major Halbert, Staff Sergeant Meadows, who guided me while I attended Air High School. There are many other veterans who provided a positive role model that I could follow and emulate, such as Sergeant First Class John Fernandez, Sergeant First Class Stephen MacArthur, and 2 in particular who are here today. Vietnam veteran retired Lieutenant Colonel Dave Sawyer from Air, who at a moment's notice would provide an oath of enlistment to Air High School students going into the military at Veterans Day programs. And World War II Battle of the Bulge veteran Joe Landry from Shirley, who recently celebrated his 99th birthday and carries a legacy for all the years. Each one of these great veterans, to include those in this building and beyond, carry on the attributes instilled in every service member: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honesty, integrity, personal courage. If you don't already have most of these, and you can incorporate them into everyday life, you are guaranteed the building blocks to become successful in life and pass this success on to friends, family, and children. Veterans, some with us and some have passed, but all have carried a great legacy. Influenced many before they joined the service and during their service to carry the torch and continue to do great things and represent what it means to be an American. I hope that I have done the same here today. Thank you. God bless you and God bless America.
Thank you, Sergeant First Class Lager, for being our keystone speaker this morning, your comments and your remarks. It's always great to hear how graduates have contributed to our society. We thank you for your service and being a positive role model for our future leaders to follow. Next, we will have Ms. Fran Cooley come back on stage and join Ms. Mary Shanahan Acuna and Mr. Tully as they do their dedication to the veterans who have attended our programs and have passed away since last year's program.
Good morning. Norman Cookie Melanson, February 26, 1926 to February 3, 2023. Passed away at 96 years old, just prior to his 97th birthday. He was nicknamed Cookie as he was a Navy cook, born in Leominster, the second son of 10 children. He was married to Tina Melanson, who passed away in 2019. For those familiar with the Leominster area, he grew up in the French Hill area during the 1930s, also called the Depression for you younger folks. He attended St. Cecilia's and Leominster Public Schools, and he left school in the 9th grade to help support his family. Soon after the passing of the family's triplet brothers, a few months after their birth, Cookie entered the Navy. He served during World War II on the amphibious LST-570 as a Navy petty officer, second class, with duties as a cook and the ship's gunner mate, first loader on a 40-millimeter gun. Cookie's LST, which means landing ship tank, carried hundreds of Sherman tanks and thousands of Marines and supplies for battles in the South Pacific. He was honorably discharged from the Navy following the war and returned home to Leominster. Noting the importance of a good education, Cookie returned to school to earn his GED. He owned and operated Deer Park Realty with his wife Tina, adopted 2 boys through Catholic Charities, and his final job was assessor for the city of Leominster, where he retired at the ripe age of 80. Cookie was a proud member of many veteran organizations, including Post Commander of the Disabled American Veterans, Chapter 24, a member of the Veterans of Foreign Wars 1807, American Legion 151, a charter and life member of the Franco-American Veterans, a member of the Veterans Council, the LST Association, Worcester County Reserve Deputy Sheriff's Association, past exalted ruler of the Leominster Elks 1237, and past president of the former Cable Club in Fitchburg. Up until the end of his life, he was an active member of the International Veterans Chorus. Cookie was part of our chorus family. A couple of years before he died, he resigned thinking it was time. He told me he dreaded calling me all day. I told him he would always be a part of our family, but he had to make the decisions regarding his schedule. Well, that didn't last long. He decided, why am I home sitting when the chorus is rehearsing tonight? So he came back. And up until the end of his time on earth, he was singing solos. Second verse, Green Beret. That was Cookie's verse. He also kept us on our toes, as he never hesitated to call someone out, especially if it was a different branch than the Navy. And as long as Fred Cuddy lived locally, Cookie made it a point to greet him with, "Hey, old man, how you doing?" Well, Fred was 2 years older than Cookie, and so he turns 100 in December. So if this 99-year-old gentleman would like to say, "Hey, old man, I've got a man for you." Even when Cookie was 96, Fred's response was, "Pretty good, kid." Cookie is missed dearly, but we are comforted by knowing he's finally home in heaven with his wife, Tina. During his final days, we had a support group, Cookie's Angels, family and friends during his time in the hospital. And I believe Cookie's Angels are here today. If you are, please stand. John. Thank you very much. And thank you, Cookie, for the inspiration you gave us, your stories, and so much of yourself.
Thank you, Fran. Norman G. Albert was born on New Year's Eve of 1926 and passed away at the age of 96 on March 7, 2023. He was a graduate of Stephen Business College in Fitchburg, Massachusetts. He served in the U.S. Marine Corps, 1st Marine Division during World War II with duty in the North Pacific in China. A Shirley resident, Norman and his wife, Jan Clouthier, originally from Fitchburg, got married in 1951 and were married for 67 years until her death in March of 2017. Together they raised 3 daughters and enjoyed many grand and great-grandchildren. Norm served in several positions in Shirley, including a selectman for 12 years in 1967-1978. He was chairman of the committee to restore plaques to honor those from Shirley who made the supreme sacrifice in World War I. In addition, he was chairman of the War Memorial Building Renovation Committee, where the Shirley American Legion meets, along with hosting many other events. He was the commander of the Shirley American Legion Post 183 in 1961, and a member of the China Marine Association, as well as the Marine Corps League. Norm had written 2 books, From a Boot to China Marine and United States Marine Corps, Respect and Recognition. On the screen you can see Norm smiling and applauding at our 13th Annual Veterans Day program in 2011 as leadership instructor Staff Sergeant Michael Cardenas does push-ups during the playing of the U.S. Army song, part of the Armed Forces on Parade, traditionally played by the high school band. Norm was sitting down at the time, seeing how he stood when the U.S. Marine Corps song was played. Other veterans in the picture who are here today are U.S. Army soldiers Joe Landry and Dave Sawyer. I enjoyed hearing about Norm's military experience and about his work with veterans. Norm, I appreciate you always asking about my dad whenever I saw you, and how you have enriched our program by sharing content from your book and books with high school students and the classrooms you have visited. Thank you very much. Now at this time, Mrs. Mary Shanahan Acuna.
Good morning. To all of the veterans that have given their time of service or sacrificed their lives, we thank you and your families. You have given us the gift of freedom. For those of you who didn't know Donald Wallace, our grandfather, he was born in 1932 and died this past February at the age of 90. He married Feen in 1956, had 7 children, and remained an heir until his death. After his graduation from Lawrence Academy, he enlisted and served his country in the U.S. Army during the Korean conflict. Papa's love for his country was always visible as he respectfully hung a huge flag on the outside of his home. He annually marched in the Memorial Day and 4th of July parades in his uniform. He loved and enjoyed his Legion brothers. If he saw a flag touching the ground, he would pull over and write it. He always wore a flag on his lapel to show his dedication to his country. When the Star-Spangled Banner played, he would hold his hand proudly over his heart and remind others to do the same. As the circle of life continues, Papa must be smiling as his home is now home to another veteran, and the flag still flies high outside of 92 East Main. Here we are in the same place that Papa came for the past 25 years to celebrate and participate on Veterans Day. Today we honor and thank all veterans and their families for their sacrifice for our country and the freedom we enjoy today. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for your tributes. Now we'll have Bert Gibson and Dana Abbott for remarks from the local veterans from the Air American Legion. Please give them a warm welcome, folks.
My name's Bert Gibson. I'm the commander of Air American Legion Post 139. I am presenting Mr. Steve Tully in honor of 25 years of service to the veterans here in Air and Shirley and surrounding towns, in recognition of his tireless work for the past 25 years. We appreciate you bringing together veterans who speak of their duty to their country in the classrooms, participating in school assemblies, and who have served. For this, we are thankful for your tireless efforts over the last 25 years. It's been my honor to come here on numerous years and to be a part of this assembly. Thank you very much, Mr. Tully. And please, if you're a veteran and you don't have any place to go, please join the American Legion. We need you.
Hi, I'm Dana Abbott. I'm from Post 183 in Shirley. I'm not the commander. I'm the senior commander. The commander couldn't make it today. But I'd like to kind of say what Bert said. Well, thank you for all you veterans that came. It's an honor to see you guys and be with you. But we need the help of all you veterans to keep the American Legions going. Right now, the only people, like I'm one of the youngest guys there out of my Legion. And, you know, we need younger guys with, you know, that have energy and all this to help us. And you're only helping veterans from the whole country. So, anyways, thank you for coming.
I want to thank Bert and Dana for the wonderful gift. Thank you so much. This is coming from Old Glory Millworks and made by Bert, and also signed on here, Joel Landry. Thank you, Joe. Walter Forrest, Frank Harmon, John Gordon. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it. Before I have Mr. Parling and the band play their version of the Armed Forces Medley, I would like to mention the Leadership Education Program will be giving gifts in the upcoming weeks to the Air and Shirley American Legions. Clear Path for Veterans of New England on Devons in the name of Sergeant Christian Deppie, son of Mr. Fred Deppie, who is transitioning better to civilian life after serving in Iraq. Karen's Kitchen, Keystone Collaborative, the Leominster Veterans Choir, and the Massachusetts Army National Guard. At the end of this program, a vase of flowers will be given to Mrs. Brenda Rodriguez, who represents the children of our deceased veterans. Brenda has been an enormous help to me taking pictures over the years at our program, as well as other logistics. She was a Spanish teacher here at Air Shirley Regional High School, and her father, Manny Velez, who you heard before, would give his carnation every year to her. He was a substitute teacher here at Air High School. And he was the first veteran who attended our program who had passed away in 2009 that the program was dedicated to. Since in his memory, I've given Brenda a bouquet of flowers to keep the tradition going. So thank you very much, Brenda, everybody. Now, Mr. Parley and the Air Shirley Marching Band will play Armed Forces on Parade. Ladies and gentlemen, please applaud the veterans as they stand while the service song is played. Feel free to stand for the service branch of your family member as it gets played. The order will be the U.S. Army, U.S. Marine Corps, U.S. Navy, U.S. Air Force, and the U.S. Coast Guard. Mr. Parley. Give them, the students and the staff involved with today's program, a round of applause. Thank you to all the students involved in speaking, and Anna and Elena for emceeing. Thank you so much. As I conclude this year's program, veterans, please be aware of the program at Page Hilltop. It'll actually be happening here at 9:15 on Thursday at the high school in the auditorium. And there's a veterans concert on Thursday that day as well at 1:30 in the gymnasium, the St. Anna School in Leominster, Massachusetts. This concludes today's event. You're now going to the last part of your advisory, correct? Okay. Thank you so much, and thank you, veterans.